Good morning. Slash afternoon, evening. Oh, that's the wrong one. Oh, I see what's gone wrong there. Um, you will probably be able to hear through my microphone my next door neighbour's music because that's what I can hear too. Let's get rid of your background. Oh, that's interesting. It got rid of a bit of me too. Um, that'll do. Anyway, I'm gonna have to turn up the music in my ears so that I can hear it over next door's music a bit more clearly. Pop Estate. What on earth is Pop Estate? I have no idea. I can still hear next door's music. It's partly because I'm hearing myself through this microphone, and therefore I can hear what you can hear, which is them. I'm just gonna try. That door doesn't fully close because of all the cables that run under it. What on earth does Pop Estate even mean? Hmm. Hello, Mum. That's reassuring. In that case, I can probably just turn up my speakers to the point where I can drown them out, rather than try to filter them out. I'm just gonna. Microphone is, I'm pretty certain, picking them up, but. Estates in country house estate is the first thing that comes to my mind as a thing that's drawable. As to whether that's yeah. So I can still hear their music. It's really annoying. And this is with the microphone. This is a directional microphone pointing at my face, and I can still hear their music being picked up by it from the other side of it. Like that line. That's alright then. I endeavour to be somewhat more coherent than a snoring spaniel. I think you know me well enough to know I shouldn't set myself a higher barrier for success than that. They're being so loud. I've just turned my speakers up to maximum. Which won't affect what you can hear at all because it's entirely on my end. But I can still hear them. And these are noise isolating earbuds. I wish they'd discover noise isolating earbuds, that'd save a lot of annoyance. That needs to be higher up. They just got louder. Just right now, they just got louder than they already were. Dickheads. Oh, I need something louder to drown that out. But because I have these set up so that I can hear myself, and I don't want to have to raise my voice over what I'm listening to, the volume of myself has to come back to me loud enough in comparison to the music I've got on. So the bit of next door's music that the microphone is picking up is going to be at a minimum of a certain volume as well. Mm-hmm. By the time the current restrictions are lifted, we might not even still live in Leeds. You know what? I'm going to do the same as I did yesterday and cheat a little. By a little, I mean a lot. Merge with layer below, that's the one. It's not so much I benefit from new neighbours as I benefit from not having these neighbours. Ooh, that's quite loud, isn't it? Ooh, that's very loud. So yeah, I do have speakers turned up quite a bit, and I just bashed my ring on the microphone, which, with how loud I'm coming back to myself, was a painful auditory sensation. I think I'll have those come quite close together. That actually needs to come further down. I should actually just sort of grab one to see what it looks like. Oh, yeah, that's actually more like that. And only comes out so much. Shooting them is seen as antisocial behaviour, even in Armley, but we have established that the police do not care about what happens in this estate, so When you can put in noise excluding earphones, turn up the volume to maximum, shove on some Nightwish, and still hear what your neighbours are playing, you've gotta wonder. It's just a drum beat. Like, I think I have to keep talking just to make it less audible than it is, partly for the sake of you not having it sort of clearly audible in the background, and partly so I don't get a copyright strike for whatever it is. And that... Sorry, that was quite loud. That actually comes in at a much shallower angle there. Like so. And there. They're getting louder. I am buying another set of earbuds, just giving them to next door. Honestly, those Bluetooth earbuds that I use are something like 30 quid. Not having to put up with next door's teenagers tasting thumping noises is worth more than 30 quid. You know that I'm facing the computer, Mum? It's that side. That side we don't get any problems from. I mean, they've got a young kid, but kids be kids. Yeah, that looks like drinks cans. I'm gonna bring that down a little more. But yeah, next door that way. The oldest is old enough that she's not at school. This we know because at the time when she would be at school, you know, the time when I'm trying to work, I instead need to have earbuds in the whole time to drown out the sound of what you can hear in the background. Excellent, the lizard has landed. Well, that's reassuring. It might well be then that OBS's noise gating is catching it quite well, which is reassuring. It's something that I don't know if XSplit does, because I've only really investigated it since switching back to OBS. XSplit does some nice things that OBS didn't, but I've not noticed anything that XSplit does that I've particularly missed on going back to OBS. But OBS does it all for free. Okay, bye, Mom. And there are things that OBS does for free that XSplit says, oh, we're going to need you to pay for that feature. So the paid version of XSplit will probably be better than OBS. The free version is not. And I don't see how the paid version could be that much better than OBS to be worth paying for. There is probably a reason why even people who stream for a living, or games companies with millions of dollars of budget, still use OBS. Now, this is gonna be weird, but if I can pull it off... When there's any quiet point in the music I'm listening to, I can hear next door quite clearly. By the way, I did some number crunching about this series last night. So I was wanting to see how long these episodes tended to be, and whether there was sort of a trend in how long they took, whether I was getting quicker or anything. And on average, I'm drawing for about an hour and 3/4. The first drawing, Refrigerator Harmony, was pretty much spot on that. My second drawing, which honestly is still my favourite so far, Vigorous Fence, was under an hour. I think it's the only one so far that's been under an hour, and it is still the shortest. The next one what What's next? Oh, Hike Army is now second longest. So we go from average to shortest to damn near longest. In the first 3 episodes. Somewhere in YouTube they're referred to as episodes, and it's sort of ingraining itself in me. The longest one, though, interestingly, is Vigorous Fence's fencing opponent, Bold Virgin. So we've got 3 that are like an hour and a half or something. They tend to be around an hour and 3/4. But also looked at sort of, okay, there must be a difference between if I just do line art and shading or if I do full colour and tone and the like. And there is. If I do full colour and tone, they're for some reason quicker. I think the tops of these need perspectiving a little. I say then perspective it a lot. Okie dokie. Now, I'm going to merge that layer down. But just that one for now. Hello, Jess. I do not know why you exist. That sounds like more of a question for philosophy, and if anyone tells you I'm a philosopher, they're lying. And I can't think of many better places to have an existential crisis. It seems to be. I mean, it's what I spend most of my time doing while drawing these things, to be fair. Oh, that's interesting. We need to clear the selection. Now go down to this layer, get rid of that. Oh, not all of that. Introductions, as not everyone watching knows everyone else. This is Jess. Early on in lockdown, Jess also did drawing. They did guides on drawing foxes, and it's foxes that sticks with me. I said say guides on drawing. You didn't actually draw any of them, did you? What was it that you sought inspiration, then threw the drawing materials in a washing machine and done? Very much the you suck at cooking of drawing tutorials, except less helpful, but same energy. A mug. You threw a mug in the washing machine, then threw some convenient camera cuts. I assume didn't actually turn the washing machine on with a mug in it. I remember you turned the washing machine on, supposedly with the mug in. These will also need angling, even more so. I'll deal with the kinching there on the inking layer. Now I come to think of it. And I'm not going to do that again. Some of these lines are just wonky. Alright, now let's see about merging some of you down to make sense. Merge the layer below. Wait, you did actually put the mug in the washing machine and turn it on? I admire the devotion to a bit. Cylinders are awful. Like, just the worst. I mean, no, they could be worse. They could be hands. I'm not drawing hands today. I've drawn enough hands recently. I think we all deserve a break from me drawing hands. That is one thing that there was a correlation with how long the videos took. There is a slight correlation between the duration of the video and how many hands there are in the final drawing. Honestly, I think yesterday's drawing I must have spent just 10 minutes on. There was one hand in it, and just sort of going, how do fingers? It was the worst hand I've drawn because, for one thing, it was sort of viewed from that angle. Maybe more like that. That's not an angle you can look at your own hand. I mean, I could just have done that up to the camera. That would have made much more sense. Why am I only thinking of this now? What a colossal waste of time that was. But also, it was the right hand. It was the hand I was drawing with, so I could have done that and tried to mirror it. But, unpleasant experience all around. Right. That just about reads as what I'm trying to do. So let's rub out some of these guidelines. Annoying thing with today's was when I saw the prompt, I had an idea. And I thought, no, that sounds just incredibly intensive and will take me ages to do. I can't do that. And then I didn't have any more ideas, so that's what you're watching. You are watching me drawing the idea that I thought of and went, no, anything else, please. I'm averse enough to this idea that my inner monologues turn into Alan Bennett. I'll figure that out in the inking layer rather than do detailed line work here. I think these videos have been probably an even split of I'll fix that in inking and why didn't I fix that in pencil? But I think that realization is a problem for future me, who will realise that current me is being an asshole by fobbing it off on them. But, you know, and future me will hold present me to that. But, hey, that's not my problem from certain philosophical perspectives. Is that deep? Yeah, it is. Vision of Atlantis? Elvelon. Yeah, I've resorted to drowning out neighbours' music with metal players because metal's good at drowning things out. Internal and external. Can recommend. But a lot of what's in this playlist I don't really know because it just sort of came up on Spotify saying, hey, you're listening to that, you'll like this. And I sort of listened to it and went, you're not wrong. I think that is wrong. Oh, wrong button. No, it's not. I do actually want to see that much underneath it, don't I? Give it a bit of depth. But if I want to see that much depth there, probably want to do something like that up here. What, use Kaylee music to drown other people out? I mean, this is in earphones, so it's not irritating. It's not there to irritate anyone else. But, no, I don't really have Kaylee music. Actually, I don't have Kaylee music. I've got some old Swan Band on my folk playlist. Who I think I know some of them. I probably do because it's folk music and everyone knows everyone else. But I think it's John Adams. Who's another one of those people I just sort of grew up going, yeah, John from Ripponden. But when it comes to the folk world, you say X from Ripponden, and they're probably famous in the folk world. Like Pete Coe, I grew up just going, oh, you mean Ruth's next door neighbour? Plays Ryburn Three Step. And then found that people up and down the country paid to watch Pete Coe concerts, and this came as quite a surprise to me. Because I did not expect that to be a thing. Um, Not Noise Wars with Kaylee music. Speaking of Noise Wars, there's also motorbikes. Kaylee vs. Fall Out Boy is not a sentence I expected to read. Well, not a sentence, I suppose. A phrase I expected to read. Okay. I think I've made enough mistakes on this layer. It's time to solidify them. I think that says Inic, but it'll do. Actually, no. I'm going to come back on here and do that. Turn you down in opacity and lock you so I don't draw on you by accident. Ooh, that looks wrong up close. Let's try that again. Because I'm used to drawing quite short lines, rather than long swoops. I'm used to undoing being a quicker way to sort of go back a little bit. But of course, when you're drawing a long swoop, it's quicker to just erase the bit of the swoop that went wrong. And I'm still getting used to this idea. That's not a bad Coke bottle. I'm pleasantly surprised by this fact. Was that a firework? Hmm. Long, stressful, drawing, no talky segments. With half of me going, I need to do this line and it needs to be right, and the other half going, yeah, but you're just being awkwardly silent while doing it. Which, to be fair, if you just sort of got this on the background, is probably more helpful than me narrating every pen stroke. Oh, hello, John. Returns nutritionally enriched. Laughing corpse, now with added fibre. This is quite a hard prompt to find something easy to draw for, which is why I ended up drawing mansion made of drinkware, I guess, is the best way to explain what's happening. You're not an eraser, you're a pen. That's the opposite of what I needed. For the last couple of streams, no, I think it was actually just last stream, I was listening to a playlist of cover songs in different genres from the original. Which, when Northern Kings comes up in the metal playlist, can be confusing. I could really have done with a far quicker drawing today, as in about theoretically half an hour I'm supposed to be GMing a game of D&D. I mean, I've done all my prep work. Well, I've done all the prep work that I need to do to be able to run it. The rest of the stuff's essentially window dressing at this point, because I did spend most of last Sunday planning. I think it was Sunday. I can't really multitask because one of the regular players in that game occasionally watches this. Although it is a group that we plan to have 2 campaigns running a week, because we've got a large group. And just sort of turn up and go, right, here are the 2 stories that are happening this week. Who wants in on each of them? And I think he might be running the other one. Might be wrong there. I mean, John, I'm willing to vouch for it being something that you're good at. So John has been GM for most of the games of anything I've played. So if anyone else watching this has been in a game with me that John hasn't played, you'll be familiar with the kinds of nonsense he's used to having to put up with from me. Or if you look at on this channel, I believe. No, it's not on this channel. It's on the Insufficient Data YouTube channel. The game of Pathfinder that John GM'd that I was a player in, where he put up with me playing an atheist cleric. This is Pathfinder, a setting in which the gods objectively do exist, and I was playing a character who absolutely did not believe in their existence, but was a cleric. Because I realised that the rules don't actually say you can't do that. That's not the lullaby that I play, Humphrey. When I talk about the shenanigans I get up to, Humphrey is another player in the campaign that runs on Friday evenings. And in that campaign, we largely play sort of abstracted urban fantasy versions of ourselves. And I can't escape the fact that I'm a bard. I also can't escape the fact that charisma is my dump stat, which for a bard is interesting, seeing as bards are essentially just sort of charisma buckets. My bucket is empty. And for quite a while my main spell was sleep, because it doesn't use your spellcasting characteristic, which is really good if you build your character as stupidly as I have. I mean, I've built my character stupidly by just existing as this. So, I guess that's on me as a person. But yeah. So, I cast that by playing Brahms' Lullaby on Concertina. If I play just the short version, it's cast at first level. And if I play the full thing, then it casts at second level. But it quickly falls out of being that useful. Like, if you're swarmed by kobolds, then great. But anything tougher than a kobold, like some species of grass, you're in trouble. So it's really good against horde encounters. But horde encounters are a pain to manage. Therefore... But they're easy to prepare for. So they're kind of a double-edged sword when it comes to running the game. And they're much more fun to play. I don't know about much more fun. But against a boss, with how D&D goes at least, there's a lot of, oh, it's my turn, I hit it again. What else was I going to do? It's still alive, therefore it needs hitting. Whilst with a mob, you mow through them pretty quickly and go, right, who's still standing? Where do I go next? Who needs help? There's a frequent change of pace. I do remember the Kobold Swarm. What I most remember about the Kobold Swarm was the fact they weren't kobolds. Not on the inside. Intellect Devourers are awful. They are terrifying. I killed one of our tanks and nearly killed the other. He was only saved by his... Sentient Shield doesn't really cover the fact that it's the soul of an ancient hero who lives on in her old shield, which he now bears. The city square before that. Now, I did miss a session around then. I've only missed 2 sessions. But one of them was around that point. No, the one I missed was after that, wasn't it? Because the one I missed was where our wizard just sort of accidentally burst into flames. I think twice, but the second time proved sufficient. So yeah, I will have been there. I'm just trying to think. I'm just trying to think to that encounter. I mean, I'll have it in my notebook. Because I have detailed in-character notes. Okay, I've still got to do the windows. And then I've got to work out shading on this thing. Nearly there. Well, nearly there with inking in this stuff. I need to turn that thickness down. Actually, while I'm here, I'll do these ones as well. Cylinders make this job so much more complex. But that's... There we go. Okay. And some multiplier layer. Shade. I realise I always sort of default to assuming the source of light being top right. Like, some things that you can do with digital art are just witchcraft. Don't know what that was I just heard. Oh, of course, I've got that deselected. Hello. That seems weird, going the opposite direction to that line. Sorry, that was my foot clicking. I have hereditary clicky foot joints. That was also a clicky foot joint. I'm nearing the end, I think. I'm going to say that now because I always say, I think I'm about done, and then keep drawing for ages. So I think if I say that now, while I know some stuff I've got left to do, then I might get to the end of that and it actually have been true. We can but hope. Yeah. Wrong button again. I actually forgot to draw the windowsill there. Uh, I'm going to put some shade in here because it's a bit weird for there not to be any. Yeah, Warhammer Fantasy does go a bit sort of off on one when it comes to medieval realism requiring latterly treatable diseases. Other games, you start with character traits. Warhammer Fantasy, you start with venereal diseases. I'm exaggerating, but I'm gonna do something odd here. I'm gonna grab this blender first. Just sort of spread that shading out a bit. Then do that. That's still a bit sharp. There we go. Pop Estate. I guess. I did hear about the game of Scrabble last night. I saw Rachel posted your first play along the lines of something, and with a comment along the lines of bastard. But yes, that's Pop Estate. We're now over halfway through the month. Thanks for joining me. See you tomorrow, and we'll find out then what tomorrow is. Bye.